there is enough time in the day. If Jeff Bezos can work out, if David Meltzer can work out, and obviously I'm using like broad examples, right? And everyone's lives are different. But if these guys who are incredibly busy running multiple businesses, you can do it too. And it's such a great grounding perspective to see someone that's doing, I guess, relatively so much more than you, to be like, wow, my possibilities are endless. What I think I can do in a day is consciously, in my mind, is a lot less than what I actually can do. I believe that I can do a little bit, but what you can actually do is a ton. It's just your habits, your behaviors, your attitude towards life, your values, and the like are not allowing for your conscious perception to be in alignment with your potential to allow it to flourish. Like, we all have shit, right? We all have our own problems. We all have our own issues, but we have developed habits and behaviors, attitudes, values, and the like, a frame of reference that we can utilize to manage our time, organize our life in such a manner that allows us to align our priorities and give effort into these dimensions every single day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 65 of the Conscious Cast. I'm your host, Cal, along with my other boy, Mr.
Jason
Scalora. All right, what's good, guys? We are back for episode number 65 of the podcast. And yeah, we're back after a whole week and a day. And I'm excited to talk to you, my man, for another nice little 30 minutes.
A quick 30-minute episode.
So how you doing, bro?
Chilling.
Chilling?
Chilling.
Chilling.
I'm so busy with stuff, but a lot of it's like, just like, especially going back to school, it kind of like just hits you.
Yeah.
Of like, you have all these things that you have to like add to your schedule. And so like all of it, like RA stuff,
Yeah.
VP stuff,
Yeah.
like just everything. And then I have to like,
It's a lot.
it's just so much like to add onto your plate at once. So you're like,
absolutely.
you forget that
Yeah.
you have all the things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, and I feel that same way too, but it also feels really good at the same time too, because
Dude, it feels so
but
good.
I wonder, like yeah, I'm getting a lot busier and I feel like meaning in my life and I feel like I'm driving towards something, but like it also like I don't know, this kind of just came upon me like right now, and I've thought about it in the past too. Am I just distracting myself?
That's what I was just about to say. I was thinking the same thing the whole time. I'm sitting there like, he's gonna say it. I'm thinking the same exact thing. That I actually thought about that exact thing, and which is what made me think I need to make a website for my page.
Yeah.
Because I think that I've been mistaking movement for achievement.
Yep.
Because a big part of me thinks I have the RA gig,
Yeah.
I'm doing club soccer, I'm the vice president, so I have all of these new freaking tasks that I'm doing all day, making the practices, making the tryouts, doing all this stuff, but they're just club soccer, which is not going to matter a year from now. Like the RA stuff's not going to matter a year from now. Classes are not going to matter a year from now. My grades aren't going to matter a year from now. Like all this stuff isn't going to matter. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, am I just running through the motions just to run through the motions? Like I'm so busy all day, but what am I actually doing?
You're distracted from...
Right. Am I just on a treadmill or am I running on the ground? Am I actually moving or am I not moving? Because I'm running, but am I moving?
Like, what are you distracted from, do you think? I'm not like asking, like maybe more
I don't think...
maybe not you specifically, but like in general, what do you think? Like,
Well,
you're
I don't think I'm
distracted
distracted from anything.
Yeah.
I think I'm just spending too much time and energy and focus on things that aren't as important.
Yeah.
I think, now that I think about it, what I'm gonna do this when I get back to my room. I'm going to write down on my whiteboard my priorities of things. And I think the number one thing I need to prioritize is building my portfolio as a content creator and as a life coach. Because that's number one.
Yeah.
And that means that before I do my homework, even though the homework's due tomorrow and it has to get an A and you have to send it in, and you're like, you get locked in, like, I need to get outside of this locked in box that I have my mind put in.
Yeah.
And remember what needs my most energy. I shouldn't be doing these things that don't deserve that energy first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, you're setting your priorities
Because
straight.
I haven't innovated anything for my brand in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I've been more busy than I have been in my entire life.
Yeah.
But if you're so busy doing things that aren't actually essential to your being, it's like, what are you actually... That's like what it reminds me of is when people say they're too busy to work out.
You're just not making enough time.
Yeah.
So, like, there is I thought about this today, too. It's like, if you have, like, a 3-hour window in between classes, right? And you're like, I have no time to go to the gym because of X, Y, and Z, right? Because maybe you have a club sport, maybe you have like, or like a club to go to, or like you have to study, do homework. Totally get that, all those things, right? But you're just not the time is there. It's just the choice that you're making and where you're allotting that time too. In addition to where your
100%.
priorities are.
People, dude, it's like people don't understand. It's like you look at somebody like you. Let's say you were a commuter, and like let's give you every possible excuse you have.
Yeah,
Full-time
exactly.
student, I work, I have to do this for this. I have all these things, but you're telling me I have time to work out, and it's like, okay, let's look at your class schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, you have an hour in between classes.
Yeah.
You could work out for 30 minutes and shower at the gym, and then go to your next class.
Yeah.
You have time
You really
to do.
wanted to do it, you could.
Well, how am I supposed to do that? Bring clothes and a towel. Well, that's the only response you get.
Well,
And then
the shower's too cold.
right, and here's the flip side of the coin. You can keep going down and down and down with your excuses. Here's the flip side of the coin. Let's say we look at your 24 hours objectively, right? This, so let's retract the statement. Let's go back one step. I talked about this yesterday with Kirsten on my show. Check out the Jason Sklar show, episode 21.
Absolutely, go check it out.
Oh, that was nice. I thought you were fucking around. You're being actually no. Anyways, if we had a GoPro attached to your head, as you're giving me don't. So the question I always ask people, let's say there's a camera crew that follows you around for 24 hours, sleeping, taking a shit, taking a shower, following you around every second of the day.
Yeah.
Would you still tell me you don't have an hour to exercise? 99% of the time, they're like, well, no. That's a question that works all the time. The second one I say, especially when people are like, dude, I just don't have the time or energy to work out. I'm like, okay, show me your screen time on your phone. And immediately they giggle. They're always like,
no.
They're like, I don't have to show you to see for you to know that I am super bit. Shut up.
Yeah.
So that's 99% of the cases.
Yeah.
That's one side of the coin. The
Yeah.
other side of the coin is, let's say you're the 1%, where your 24 hours are booked.
Yeah.
You have no time to work out. Let's say you actually have no time to work out. Your 24 hours are completely booked. Are you going to tell me that every hour of your day should be a priority over taking care of your physical health? If the answer is yes, I have nothing for you. But what the hell are you doing with your time? There's just no way. So that's where my brain goes to of just squashing the excuses. Because tangibly, there's no way you can give me a good excuse to not take care of your physical health. I'm not saying, even if you have a fucking illness, that's fine. But there's something you can and should be doing to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you really have to take a look at how you're spending your time.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, I'll briefly address that, and something that also just came up in my mind, which I think is like it's related, but it's also another topic too. Yeah, no, you like there is enough time in the day, and we've used this before. If Jeff Bezos can work out, if David Meltzer can work out, and like obviously I'm using like broad examples, right? And everyone's lives are different, but if these guys who are incredibly busy running multiple businesses, right? Along with their, like, they're in every aspect of their life, right? It doesn't have to be just working out. It could be spiritual health. Every dimension of their life, they're daily exerting energy into that area, right? You can do it too. You just have, and it's such a great grounding perspective to see someone that's doing, I guess, relatively so much more than you, right? To be like, wow, my possibilities are endless, right?
So
like
crazy.
my possibility, like what I can do in a day is what I think I can do in a day is a lot less. There's a lot. Okay. This is like a little bit hard for me to phrase. What I think I can do in a day is consciously, in my mind, is a lot less than what I actually can do. Right. So like, I believe that I can do a little bit, right? But what you can actually do is a ton, right?
100%.
It's just your habits, your behaviors, your attitude towards life, your values and the like are not allowing for your conscious perception to be in alignment with your potential to allow it to flourish, right? And so look at these guys like Jeff Bezos, David Meltzer. Yeah. I mean, I think individuals that are similar to us, right? We all have shit, right? We all have our own problems. We all have our own issues, right? But we have developed habits and behaviors, attitudes, values, and the like, a frame of reference that we can utilize to manage our time, organize our life, right, in such a manner that allows us to whether it be for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to align our priorities and give effort into these dimensions every single day, right? And so, and like, I mean, did you want to say anything?
Well, just real quick, because like think about it like logically. Let's say each of those individual areas of life. If you want to be a multimillionaire and run businesses, that's going to take up so much time and energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're that type of person, the chances are highly likely that your family life is shit, your physical health is shit, your spirituality is shit, all these other areas of life are shit. But then you have people that are masters in business, masters with their family, masters in their spirituality, in their physical health, in their mental health.
Yeah.
In all these areas of life. And you're going to tell me you don't have the time? I don't want to hear it. That's all.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, there are valid excuses, right? But those, once again, those excuses are most likely way more exaggerated than they actually are.
If you have the resources and the time to listen to us on this podcast right now,
you could be doing it while working out.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was thinking about when you were talking, I forget exactly what you were saying, but I just had this thought when, like, for instance, like when I'm talking to you about like relationships and stuff like that, and we talked about this podcast before. One of the best management styles that a business can have in their managers is managers that don't just give their employees the answer, right? They guide their employees, right? They help them, they aid them, but they allow employees to figure it out themselves, right? And I was just thinking about it, and I think, we can relate this to what we were just talking about, right? Because someone in the gym, right, whether it be, someone in the gym, right, maybe they be working out, or, they want a shortcut, right, or they want to get into a relationship, right? What's the quickest way I can get into a relationship, right? Or what's the quickest way I can make the most amount of money? They want a fast blueprint and an answer to just fit their exact life when everyone's life is different, right? Everyone has their own individual scenario. So, like, what we have to do as individuals, that I believe, is we have to utilize our resources around us, right? Such as the internet, right? Such as friends and family, interpersonal relationships, like in person, right? Our connections, just by asking, right? And create that blueprint ourselves, right? Because unless, like, I don't know what field you'd be going into, most likely it's not going to be a one size fits all type of scenario, right? Meaning, like, let's just say someone's like, oh, I did this to get this girlfriend, right? Like, that's not going to work in all cases, most likely, right? It can probably help you, but it's not going to. So I just think, and I would like to hear your thoughts on this, you have to be the individual that utilizes the resources yourself, right? Using other people's perspectives to come up with your own, I guess, finalized conclusion that you can apply to your own life and to just like a lifestyle that works for you while applying it to all these areas.
Yeah. I mean, that's with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my way of approaching life is, if somebody is living a quality of life and is experiencing certain things that I want to experience or have, model that. Success leaves clues.
Yeah.
Model that. If you want to improve your finances, your relationships, your mental health, your physical health, your spirituality, anything, find the people that sit in the seat that you want to sit in and do what they do. Fucking keep what works and get rid of what doesn't. If it doesn't feel right, drop it. If it works, keep it. But that doesn't mean you have to take everything that everyone says is the holy grail. Everyone's their own unique individual person.
Just like religion.
It's with everything. But with that said, we're all human beings. And so these areas of life, in my eyes, are kind of indisputably the foundation of where you need to start in order to make your life better. Right? Like talking about spirituality, mental health, physical health, finances, career, relationships, like those kinds of, like those 7, 8, 9, 10 areas of life, in my eyes, I've never heard a rational argument from anybody on why any individual one of those areas of life should not be accounted for in your well-being or something that you should try and strive to improve on. But with that said, to answer your question, I don't think you should take anything that anyone says as, I have to do this. But I do think you have to really do a thorough job in your research on your argument of why you think you shouldn't have to improve any of these areas of life if you want to live a better life.
Yeah.
But the way you go about it is definitely going to be very individual based on who you are and your subjective experience.
So I think, yeah, like I was just thinking about this the other, like I was like about to leave rec the other day, right? And I was leaving my shift, right? And these are basic areas of life, like these fundamental areas are like our 8 well-being state, like 8 being dimensions, right, of wellness, right? I'm pretty sure I fucked that up, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Are the most necessary things in our life, right? Therefore, they carry the biggest attachment to our lives, right? And because it's something you have to do, right? It's something that you have to attend to, right? But so many people, first you got to be aware of these dimensions, right? And learn about what the fuck they are, right? Like, so for instance, you indirectly said this, like you have to know about finance. It's like the basic stuff about it before you actually start to learn about what finance is and how it can apply to your life, right? And so I think based on that, these huge, like, I mean, it's very hard to, like you said, very hard to argue against these areas being fundamental to our lives, right? Because they really are. They're so concretely engraved in it. So I think for people that don't attend to these areas, that don't give it like the time and energy, like the necessary time and energy, and I'm not saying you got to engulf like a ton into this. I think just like you control your own response to things, right? And just like you have the ability to create your own reality, right? It's an ability and a capacity that's not being utilized to help better your life, right?
Right.
And it is unfortunately leading to your own downfall, and it's partially your own fault.
Yeah.
It really does depend on the goal that you're trying to set, because like we could be spewing shit right now, someone could just be like, I don't have any goals that are aligned with that, like right to some extent, right. But yeah, I think it's like really like reflect, and like this is not to say that I'm like some type of guru in all these areas, like bro, like I obviously I know about all these different areas, right? And I have my priorities when it comes to what physical, mental, spiritual, but when it comes to finance, right, like I'm very good on my finances, right? But when it comes to building capital, right, building generational wealth, fuck me, dude. Like I mean, I have a business minor, but that shit like not really being it's and it's not to say we're perfect, but I think ideally we know we're
it's like, dude, if you're unhappy, this is why I wish that I could take I wish there was like an app on your phone where you could scan your brain and it will tell you how happy you are, because then people would be completely solidified and me giving them advice. Because a lot of times people go to advice to people where if you scan their brain, they're fucking miserable as fuck. You can't tell because maybe they put it in the front, or maybe they come across as really cocky and certain on how much they know about self-improvement or whatever. But I wish there was just a way that would make it easy for me to explain to people, like, listen, the reason why you should take my advice is because I'm happy as fuck, dude. Like, yes, I have my ups and downs. I'm not deliriously happy. I don't just fucking walk around like this all day. But I'm happy. I'm at peace. The amount of positive emotion I experience compared to the average Joe is immense. And you can tell because I don't complain about people a lot. I don't talk shit a lot. I hang around people that are positive. I enjoy my life. I'm pursuing things that are meaningful. I take care of my mental health, my physical health, my spirituality, my finances, my career. Like the areas of life that matter, I focus on. I give them my time. Yeah. I give them my energy. And as a result of that, I live a good life. I have my advantages. I have the pros of being a white male in America. Sure, great. But it's the fact that I'm happy, which is why I believe I can give you advice. What I always think about is like when I see people getting relationship advice, especially from people that are toxic in relationships, I always just look at that, and then they're like, "Well, no, they this person said that that they boss around their girlfriend and tell them that they don't they should have a say in what they wear and who they go out with because that's stupid. And it's like, okay, that person cries himself to sleep every night after fucking arguing with their girlfriend on FaceTime for 3 hours, right? And it's like, I don't know. I feel like people are too ignorant when it comes to the source of wherever they're getting their information. Because if you want to live a happy life, you need to take advice from somebody that lives a happy life. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah. How brilliant is that? Yeah. Or if you want to have a better, healthy relationship, you better get advice from somebody that knows how to manage a healthy relationship. Yeah. But people will go to other people. Like, it happens all the time with, like, what I just said of, dude, you can't tell, bro, no guys out there are actually okay with their girl going to the club when she's cuffed, bro. Like, if you're dating a girl, you should, like, tell her not to go out to bars and shit. She's just going out there to get fucked. And I'm like, listen, dude, the only guys that are telling you that are the loud majority that have toxic relationships. Yeah. It's the fucking truth. Yeah. All of those dudes that force their girlfriend to wear certain clothes or to not wear certain clothes or to not to talk to certain guys or to not go to a bar or a club because she's only going there to get fucked as if she doesn't want to go out and have fun or whatever, are the dudes that have shitty relationships. And I don't care if it's 9 out of 10 guys. I don't care if it's 99 out of 100 guys. Those people don't have good relationships. They don't. And for you to tell me that since most people tell you that that's the right answer, doesn't mean shit if they don't have a good relationship. But that applies to everything.
Yeah, because you like, especially like, because someone can give you conceptual knowledge that's really fucking helpful, right? But I think the best advice, and I mean the best advice that you can use to find that blueprint, right, that works for your lifestyle and your specific, you know, whatever interests you have, right, is someone that has, I should say, authentic, intuitive knowledge about what the fuck is going on. Right. In other words, right, they've experienced further, and I guess like they have an expansive knowledge in the field that you're in, right? And you can ask them questions as like a mentor, right? Not necessarily saying that they're better than you, right? It's just they have information that can help you. They have genuine information that can help you, and it's backed from a credible source.
Right. Well, it's like, listen, think about it this way: if you can admit, and we can agree on the fact that most people, the majority of people, aren't living a positive life, then that means in order for you to get advice from somebody on how to live a positive life, you got to go to the minority of people that are living that kind of lifestyle. Because if if most people aren't living a happy life and you want a happy life, take advice from the minority, not the majority. I don't care how many people tell you that you should do X, Y, and Z to live a happy life. If that many people aren't fulfilled. I mean, even just saying it out loud, it sounds so fucking obvious. Don't take advice from somebody that's stupid if you want to be smart. Yeah. Like, it makes so much sense, but people get so caught up in the fact of, well, you know, I've asked so many people and they all tell me the same thing. And it's like, okay, first of all,
you're talking to the wrong people, buddy.
Yeah, and I love it too. This happens a lot, especially with women, and it's nothing sexist or nothing against women, but it's like, although I am sexist, I think, sorry, this happens with women all the time, where they'll have a conversation with their girlfriends or whatever, and all they do is affirm their bullshit. Like, I'll be sitting there, and I'm just...
Like yes saying?
Yeah, okay. Well, sort of, but it's like they're complaining like, yeah, fuck him. It happens with relationships all the time. We've had this conversation on multiple podcasts of like, I'll hear girls go in and complain about like, or say, all men are trash, and then they all chime in, yeah, all men are trash, as they're fat and don't take care of themselves and don't value their own lives. It's like, all men are trash. It's like, I'm sitting there in the corner, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm thinking like, well, actually, none of you even take care of yourselves. I don't know how you expect any valuable man to settle for a girl who doesn't even value themselves. Yeah. So it's like, I don't even want to hear the argument, but when you hang around people that are only going to tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear, you're never actually going to get better. Because you could say all men are trash as much as you want and chant it to the world and go out with your pitchforks and flames saying all men are trash and the patriarchy needs to be smashed and I hate all men and do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. if you don't value yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't make your life better, no valuable man, woman, transgender, I don't care, no valuable human being is going to want to be with you if you don't take care of yourself. It's really that simple. Yeah. But for you to go to a group of people that are living the same shitty quality of life as you are, and then get their affirmation on your viewpoint on the world or on men or whatever, is completely delusional.
Yeah, because I think taking a more broader perspective on this, I think applying this message in a more broader sense, like, and it's just taking the message and, you know, applying it to like all areas. It's really about like where are you getting the, like, what location are you getting the information from, right? Because if you're getting information from a closed-minded source, right, and or like especially in a groupthink type of area, right, that's going to be the dominant information that you're going to get, right? And it's going to be it's just like Plato's cave, right? It's just like you're going to be stuck looking at those shadows on the wall, right? And you're not going to see any other information that makes you realize that those aren't real images on the wall, right? And I think it's just so important for people to know, especially when it comes to relationships, when it comes to just really type of any endeavor that they're going into, that even though the narrative and the echo chamber that they may be in, right, may sound so perfect, right, may sound that like, oh, this is objective, this is concrete, this is inarguable, right, always have in the back of your mind and always have this like little margin of error, right, between belief and fact, right? And it's like that leap of faith, right? If you hold that little, like, okay, like, yeah, I'm almost positive this shit's true, right? And like all the science backs it, whatever, you know, like all these people are saying it's this, right? Just keep in mind that like it may not actually be this, right? And so when the coin flips, right, and it goes to the other side, right, where, oh, maybe I shouldn't be treating my friends like garbage, right, in order to be happy, right? Or some dumb fucking perspective right? You'll just be like, oh my God, right? It's just like, and then like we were literally just talking about on the past episode, you'll start to make different choices, right? You'll start to take in new information, and that'll have a consequence on you as an individual, and as you start to make new choices, form new habits, new behaviors, and through having that margin of error, having that open mind, right, having that willingness to change your opinion, right, and it's not fixated, not concrete, like we were talking about before, right? You're kind of just cherry picking from each one and like building your own blueprint, right? You'll actually live such a more healthy life where you can actually think for yourself 100%. And be your own leader.
Right. Well, it's like if you are only hanging around people where every conversation you have, it's just reaffirming what you already thought. Yeah. You're never going to develop yourself in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, man.
If you're never intellectually challenged by the people you spend time with, and every single belief, thought, philosophy, perspective on anything in life is always just reaffirmed by everybody you spend time with, you're never going to develop yourself in any way, shape, or form.
If you're just have people that this is the echo chamber, right? Everyone's just reaffirming those beliefs, right? And it appears so concrete, right?
And it feels good.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I'm right, baby. Yeah.
It's the Me Right show.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a guy. Me Right. Yeah. But he's a fine gentleman. Yeah, man, it's like, it really makes you think about what is actually true, right? Because if like what we're saying here, right, and like the people around you are saying the same thing, like, oh, you control 100% of your response to things, right? Like, we believe that concretely, like we genuinely believe that, and we know that, right? But like, what if that's not true? What if free will doesn't exist? I'm not saying like we're not getting into that area right now.
But you hold space for the other side.
Like, exactly.
No matter what.
What if everything around me is an illusion, right? What if I have no control at all, right? But I think I have control. Like, oh, I'm moving my arm, right? Like, no. That was all predetermined biologically through your habits, or like something like that, right? Or like everything's actually neutral, so like, you know, just some type of justification that shows.
But it's an example for
exactly.
Keep a fucking open mind.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds so corny and cliche, but the more time you spend being closed-minded and telling everyone to fuck off that doesn't agree with the way that you think, the more time you're going to spend living an ignorant life without fulfillment, without happiness, and without any sort of growth in the areas of life that actually matter.
Yeah, and I think maybe to end off this episode, this interesting episode, to say the least.
It's been all over the place.
Yo, for real, dude. But I think once we edit this bad boy down,
It'll be better.
We'll have.
It's funny because people are gonna watch this, and they'll see the 30 minutes, not the full hour we've been here, and they're gonna like
hour and a half,
and they have no idea about the dumb shit that we've said.
We cannot put it on YouTube.
We can't. No,
it's terrible. It's
Burn
terrible.
it. Burn it.
We'll tell you if you meet us up in person, but
even then,
probably not.
Unless you're Joe Yacovelli.
Joe Yacovelli, or
Another shout out to Joe Yak. I love you.
Joe Yak.
Your mustache is amazing.
Yeah, you've been fucking shouting him out like crazy on the podcast.
I love. Well, he's
he's a dope dude. Yeah, he's gonna be on soon. So
this is the second time shouting out Joe, and more times to come. And speaking to come.
But yeah, I think it's just wrapping up this episode. It's like you said, man, it's about keeping that open mind, keeping that margin of error, right? And just being willing to look at your own beliefs, your own values, and really your own frame of reference when it comes to things. Because if you can keep that open mind, if you can keep that, I guess you could say, like keeping your barriers down, right? Rather than, just putting them up to the fucking sky, right? You'll actually learn so much more, and you'll not deem people that disagree with you as conspiracy theorists, right? But actually as someone that you have more in common with than you have different with. So yeah.
Than you have different with.
Oh God, man, I really oh man.
It was so good. It was so good. Then you have differences with.
Damn it, dude.
Period.
Okay. Then you have differences with.
So you put the cherry on the cake, and the cake just fucking.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode number 65 of the Conscious Cast. I'm your host, Cal. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Where can they find you, my man?
Jason Scalora, JASONSCALORA. It's right here.
Oh, here.
Here. Look, is that a bird? Oh, my God.
No, I'm not putting that in because that's way too much work.
Oh my God, is that a plane? Is this an explosion? Is this a dildo? My face? Oh, it's in my eye.
Guys, that's
my eye. Link in the description.
All right, guys, make sure you love yourself because I love you.
Stay handsome.
Oh, man, we're clocking out, people. Peace.